And we're live. Salam Imran.
Peace, Asad.
So we're back again with our weekly
Yeah,
Q&A.
there's some there's some delay going on.
With what? So I'm going to slap this link for anyone who wants to join. And I don't know how to. Oh, we can pin it. Yeah, so we're going to pin the link. So whoever has the will to join us and have a conversation one on one or one on two or three, whatever it is, they can have that. And so Manaz is here, Samar is here, and two other people are here who do not wish to declare their presence.
Peace.
We'll keep waiting for a little bit, and then we can start. So, as I was telling you just before we started, so today we're just going to read a section from the Quran, and I will explain what's going on from my point of view and what I understand, and then we can discuss that or any other questions. Whoever has other questions, they can just drop them in the chat, and we will get to those after we have this segment that I'm going to read today initially. Yeah,
Cool. And if anyone sees any disturbance in the audio levels between Asad and me, then do let us know.
yeah. There's some issue going on with the mics. Are you guys hearing us well? The two or four that are listening.
Is our levels okay, guys, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I guess it is.
I guess nobody's saying anything. So, anyways,
So
so let's.
is
Yeah,
Omar
go.
coming?
I don't know. He should. He sent me a message earlier. He may. I mean, he should turn up eventually. So it's good. The sound looks good from the other. From Summer is telling us at least. So it should be fine then. Yeah,
Thank
we
God.
can continue with this audio level. So let's just start. Whoever wants to join can join later. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to wait around for. It's been 3 minutes already. So basically, we're going to just bring up a segment from the Quran, and we're going to read it. So today, I will go through the story of basically the story of David and its beginning and how it went and what the Quran talks about it. Not the whole story of David, but the what happened as a big picture at the time and uh, what happened with the sons of Israel at that time.
Very cool.
So can you see the?
Yep.
Okay, is it better if I make this light or is it better dark? You guys tell me.
Dark is a lot better.
This is the dark is better than this.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I don't know what other people might
I don't know. I mean,
think.
I'm fine with dark because it hurts my eyes less when I look at it.
Yeah, and then the white text just pops out
Yeah,
clearly.
yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go through this segment, which starts in chapter 2, sign 246, and it is about a prophet that was sent to the sons of Israel, um, to the chiefs. A story is about the chiefs of the sons of Israel and the sons of Israel that a prophet was sent after Moses. So let's look at each of these signs and see what's going on. So do not you look to the chiefs from sons of Israel from after Moses. So they're asking us, asking the messenger here directly, actually. Do not so behold, they said to prophet to them. So there's a prophet obviously, and they're talking to him, the chiefs. the high ones of the sons of Israel at that time, the ones who were in charge, who had power. Bring out to us a king. We will fight in path of the God. So obviously something's happened here, right? That they're asking the prophet to bring out a king
Mm,
who will lead them into battle. Correct? I mean,
mm,
that's pretty obvious. He said, so the prophet says, or maybe you, if written over you the fight, surely not you will fight. So, why do you think he's asking them this? The answer is because he knows they're not going to fight. This is all words, yeah? And just like you look around at your leaders today, they're all about talk. And they will never fight themselves, obviously. They
mm,
will send the peons to fight. They said, so they responded, the chiefs, and what to us? Surely not we fight in path of the God. And have we been taken out from our homes and our sons? So basically, now you know why, what's happened, yeah? Those guys have been kicked out from their homes and their sons with them. But when written over them the fight, they turned except few from them. So now the story, obviously, what I just told here, that when the fight was written over them, they turned away except a few from them. And the God knowledgeable with the wrongdoers. And said to them their prophet. So the prophet said, so they asked for a king to be brought out, right? So the
mm,
prophet says, surely the God has brought out to you Talut, a king. So whoever this guy was, Talut, he was brought out as a king. And they responded, surely it be to him the kingship over us, and we in truth with the kingship from him, and not he brought amplitude from the wealth. You see that statement?
mhm,
So because he doesn't have wealth, how can he be king over us? We are
mhm,
the wealthy ones. And now look around you on the earth, what's going on.
mm,
Nothing but wealth is honored. Nothing but wealth is used to gain power on the earth. If you have no wealth, you can gain no power on the earth today. And if you think I'm lying, then you're deluded beyond help.
Yep, you're true.
So the prophet says, surely the God chooses him over you and adds him expanse in the knowledge and the body. So, what is more important, wealth or knowledge and your power in your body, the force of your soul in your body? Obviously, the wealth means nothing in reality. And the God, he brings his kingship one he wishes, and the God ample, knowledgeable. So, God doesn't look at your wealth to make you king. Okay? That is a self delusion that man has created for himself. And because one is not wealthy, he cannot be heard or cannot be put in a place where he can be heard. Uh, and today, like I said, nobody's going to gain power without wealth the way the system is set up, the satanic system that we live in. There's no doubt in my mind. If there's a doubt in yours, you can bring me how that is a doubt. So, so their prophet said to them, surely a sign of his kingship. So God brings his kingship anyone he wishes. Every kingship that is upon us, to the Satans as well as the rejectors, is brought by God. We don't bring the kingship to ourselves. I mean, if we think that, we are deluded beyond help. So now the prophet tells them, the chiefs and the sons of Israel, surely a sign of his kingship, that it will come to you the ark, in it calmness from your Lord, and remnants from what left family of Moses and family of Aaron, carrying it the angels. Surely in that to be a sign to you if you be believers. So this ark that the sons of Israel, the Christians and the Jews talk about, that they depict David and Solomon carrying it all over the place. Yeah, this is that ark. Then in it are the remnants from what left Moses' family and Aaron's family. So what was it? I mean, obviously, I believe in it is his staff and all the other things that are of importance to the family of Moses and Aaron. So this happened. The angels brought it down and gave him the ark. They are still looking for the ark in this generation. They have all sorts of stories about this ark. I don't know where it is. I have no idea. They seem to have idea is somewhere in Africa or somewhere hidden in the Holy Land or whatever. But this was the sign sent to him. So God sent the angels with this as a sign that Talut is the king. So get with the program. So now everything's happened. They've accepted Talut as the king, however grudgingly they may have, but they had to. But when moved Talut with the forces, he said, so Talut said to those who were going with him, surely the God will test you with river, but one who drinks from it, but not from me. And one he feeds of it, but surely not he feeds, not he feeds of it, but surely he from me. Except one who cups a cupping with his hand. So basically, there's going to be a river, yeah, or a stream, whatever you want to call it. I put river, you can call it stream of water. And if any of you drinks from it, you're not from me. Basically, you're disobeying my command. And one not he feeds of it, he's going to be from me. Except if someone takes a little cupping, sure, no problem. Yeah, I mean, you can take a little drink from it, but they drank from it except a few from them. So guess what? I mean, do they obey anybody except their own souls? Nobody does that. None of us. So when he moved, he and those who believed with him, they said, no power to us the day with Goliath and his forces. So now they're overcome because they disobeyed the king, Talut, and God took away their power, their ability, their capability. And then said, those they thought surely they will meet the God. Now, these are the ones who didn't obviously drink or just took a cupping. How many from troops? Few overcame troops, many with will of the God, and the God with the patient. So now, obviously, you see, most of them drank, a few didn't. So now, most of the people, this is how they turned, right? God said most of them turned, except a few. So most of them took from the river. That was a trial, and they failed, like most of us fail. And when they marched to Goliath and his forces, they said, so this is the ones that are actually willing to fight, yeah?
Hmm.
Our Lord, spread over us patience and strengthen our feet and help us over the people, the rejecting. But push them away with will of the God and kill David Goliath and brought him the God the kingship and the wisdom and taught him from what he wished. And if not pushes the God the mankind, some of them with others, to be warring in the earth, and but surely the God with grace over the knowing. These signs of the God, we read them over you with the truth, and surely you to be from the messengers, talking to me, Muhammad, when he was here, and any other messenger. This is to one man. Again, these signs of God, we read them over you with the truth, because no one else is going to believe except the messenger and the few that follow him, just like the few that followed Talut here. Now, the so called people who hold this Quran and refer to themselves as Muslims, and I repeat, they are not. They are not Muslims at all, not by the definition of this book. They are Muslims who lies and deception and delusion, not to the truth, which is God and what He tells you. They will blame. Oh, look how these sons of Israel behaved. Yeah, look at it. They're the worst. Yeah, and then the sons of Israel will tell you that we're the chosen ones of God. So what's the truth? Yeah, both is the truth. They were behaving like fools, like idiots, demented. And then what happened? A few believed, and with those few, God made David kill Goliath, which is the story is in the Torah and the Injil. No, not the Injil. Sorry, not the Torah. The Injil. Torah was before David and Solomon. So in the Injil, it's there when Jesus came. The story of David killing Goliath, and of course in the Quran, it's the same story here. So, and then God brought David whatever he wanted and taught him whatever he wanted, which was he could speak with the birds. He had the understanding of the speech of the birds, and so did his son Solomon, yeah, who was inherited a kingdom far greater than that of David. And I don't believe Any kingdom of any one person after Solomon will reach that. That's what I understand, as he asked God for that. So, I mean, they blame the sons of Israel for being this, that, or the other, and this story applies to all of us, not just the sons of Israel. It's not like the sons of Israel rebelled against God and the rest of mankind is in alliance with God and submitted and covenanted by the side of God. That's not the reality. We're all the same. This is showing you what we are in general. Who fights in the path of God today? Nobody.
Mm.
There's nobody who fights in the path of God today. I mean, I'm the only one in the few that are with me, one or two maybe. I'm the only one fighting in the path of God today. I don't see anyone else. They hold this book and they lie about it. They hold the Bible and they lie about it. They hold the Torah and they lie about it. They don't read what's in it. If you open the Torah, the whatever is available of it, and you read that, these so-called Jews would be put to shame with what they're doing. They have no authority to take land from other people that doesn't belong to them just because it belonged to them a few thousand years ago. That story has gone. Yeah, if God wants, he will bring the land to them. Yeah, through a war or through other means which are just. By God's standard, what they're doing is absolute injustice on the earth. And generally, the sons of Israel, the rest of the Christians are doing the same thing. And do you think the others are doing any better? I mean, they're all the same. They are spreading strife on the earth, lies, deception, and war, and trials everywhere. Yeah, there's trials upon trials everywhere. So, so now you can ask whatever you want about this, and I will answer this or any other question that you may have today. But
S- So, so in the end, it says the last uh, line of that sign, the last sign that you read, it's basically giving surety to the messenger that look, nobody believed before, and it's not going to happen. Just a few may do it with the will of God. So you just take it easy.
yeah, that's not what's written there. Yeah, that is not exactly what's written there. There is telling you we're reading this over you with the truth. So it is the truth. And you are from the messenger, talking to the messenger, which
Yeah.
happens to be me today, I would say, unfortunately.
No,
So,
thank
how
God.
to, yeah, for the messenger is pretty unfortunate because he knows what he's going to go through in this earth. Questions out of context are also, yeah, just any questions you can ask, doesn't matter. Uh, Amna says that the light version is better. I think the dark version is better. And I don't know, we could have a vote for that one. Anyway, how to fight for the sake of God in present days. The first, you got to fight yourself. When you win that fight to a level that you should, which is going to take you most of your life, then you can fight in the path of God by standing up for the truth. That's what the messenger does. I mean, if you look at how the messengers fight their people, look at the Quran, read the Quran. Do you think they physically fight them? No, they fight them with the words of God. By delivering the words of God and by telling the people, you are wrong, you're ignorant, you're oblivious, you have no knowledge, you have no understanding, you're spreading lies on the earth. So stop that before the punishment comes to you and obey me and fear God. That's how you fight God, the messenger, until the command of God comes. When the command of God comes, then all bets are off. And that you can read in the Quran as well. What happens? Everybody is vanquished except the messenger and those with him. And how he does that? He uses the believers and the messenger to do it, or he uses his angels, which is in most cases the scenario. Even when he used Muhammad and the believers, if you look at the two battles that are mentioned in the Quran, the battle of Badr and the battle of Hunain, it wasn't like Muhammad and the believers won anything. In both battles, they were at a losing level of the losing place. They were not at a station of highness. In the battle of Badr, they were ignominious. They were nothing. and God sent the angels to help them. And in other, they were in huge numbers. Many numbers did not help because they turned at the last instant and ran away from the command of God. And then God sent the forces that they did not see in wind to help them and destroy the rejectors. So any of these battles that you think that we are fighting for God, when we are actually fighting in the path of God, that we are actually winning, we are deluded. We don't win anything. It is God who makes us win or makes us lose. I mean, it's not like the believers win every battle. That's not the way it works. Yeah, I mean, the believers are killed as well. I mean, the messengers and prophets are killed. So, how do you fight? First, fight yourself, your own soul. Overcome your soul's wickedness with your soul's piousness. And then when you are at a level where you have overcome that wickedness and you don't think you're going to make yourself God in two instances when you have a little bit of power and authority, which is hard to understand for most people because they think they're gods immediately, the moment they have the slightest bit of wealth, power, or authority, they make themselves gods. And then no one else can tell them to do anything. That is not the truth, obviously. Okay, so can you name some examples of fighting for the sake path of God in the current days? I mean, stop calling me sir, okay? I mean, this guy just can't, doesn't give up, right? I mean, physical fights, I mean, I just told you how to fight in the sake of God is to tell the truth, to stand up with the truth to power, as they say. I mean, the statement by these alternative or those who are so called truth givers on the earth, nothing close to that. They're telling half lies, if not 80% lies. You stand up for the truth to power. You speak truth to power. You can't do that in Pakistan, by the way, or Russia, or many of these countries. In the US and Canada and some of the Western countries, you can say that to an extent. And you have to understand they're going to come after you if you start getting heard. For me, it doesn't matter. Nobody hears me, so they're not worried about me. They're not about me being a issue to them until there is a amount of influence by my words that they cannot handle. Then they'll come after me. Until then, I will keep speaking the truth. Nobody's going to listen, and they don't care. But am I supposed to stop then telling the truth because nobody is listening to me? No. The biggest thing is you say truth to power. And the first thing you tell your governments are you're illegitimate in the so-called Muslim world. I can't tell this government they don't hold the Quran, right? The one I'm in Canada. So I can't tell the Canadians you're illegitimate because they don't hold the Quran. So how can I say, oh, you're illegitimate? They're as legitimate as they want to be. If they look at the Bible, they will see that they're illegitimate themselves because it disallows absolutely usury slash interest. And all their system is based on that. So it's illegitimate by their own book, the one they think they follow, which most of them do not hear. Let's go to the so called Muslim world. It is categorically disallowed. So the first thing you need to stand up and tell your leaders is your government is illegitimate. When you hold anything over the Quran and say that is the reasoning for your judgment, and you twist your tongues to make it appear that the Quran is saying that, you need to be dethroned from your place of authority. And the one who knows the Quran and actually follows the Quran to its words literally, which is understood, not the metaphors and the parables. And you step aside and put a man in charge. That's how it works. There's no election. Okay, there is no democracy in the reality of God. The democracy only in your fake reality that you've created. God chooses who he wishes. He doesn't give a damn about what you think about that person at all. Just like these people. Oh, he doesn't have wealth. Yeah, if God gives 2 cents to that, nonsense. Yeah, absolute nonsense. He will choose who he wants. He chose Moses, right? Did anyone have choice over him? And that they could say Moses is a very blunt character. He just says everything in your face, blah blah blah. Too bad for you. He's chosen Moses, and then he put Aaron under Moses, complete control of Aaron had Moses. Moses had full control of Aaron, who is a messenger and prophet as well. So there's a hierarchy you have to understand as well. It's not that straightforward. So here's yeah. I mean, I've given the example. So let's move on to something else. Do you have any things you want to bring up, Imran, today?
Yeah. Um, in the so-called Muslim and Arab world, the marriage is a mockery. So I just wanted to ask you, without going into the science, because when we when we talk about marriage,
Mhm.
it's been mentioned I think 5 times in a couple of chapters. But without getting into the details of that, if you could just give a bird's eye view, according to the Quran, what is marriage and how is it conducted?
I mean, marriage is between a man and a woman, period. Yeah. No one else has power over that, except in the case that one of the two parties gives their will to someone else to handle the marriage and its decision. And the other is if it is a woman who is under a covenant with a man, then the man who holds the covenant will decide for her marriage or not. That's the only exception. But other than that, it's between the man and the woman. Yeah, and of course, we're talking about the Quran, so the marriage is only between a believing man and a believing woman, right? Or a believing man or woman with a Muslim man or Muslim women from the keepers of the book. And the believing man or woman will decide who is a Muslim or not. The believing will know each other, obviously, they will be following this Quran. Yeah. So that's fundamentally it. And then once the acceptance is made between the man and the woman, the man has to give a gift or a reward to the woman for her accepting him in marriage. So they both decide what that is, and then the man has to give the woman that gift, whatever it is. There is no stipulation to what that needs to be. It can be whatever the woman accepts and the man can offer or give. That's it. That's marriage. There's nothing else. Nobody else has any authority over it. I mean, a father does not have authority over his children, male or female, women or men, to command them to do or not do marriage with anyone. They have no authority. Like in the Muslim world, it's a complete gong show. Yeah, it's an absolute uh, catastrophe how marriage is handled. Yeah, and similar divorce as well. It's a complete fallacy of what the Quran says against it. Yeah, I mean, it's a absolute lie and delusion what they do to enact marriages and how they force people to marry, and then these child marriages which are fringe, so it's not that big an issue, but it is an issue that you're forcing a girl who is not even of age to get married to a 60-year-old moron. Yeah, I mean, that's just disgusting, to say the least. So is
So
that
So
go ahead.
there's no like when I got married in Pakistan, we had the nikah and all this mullah sat and all that thing, and then they made us walk under the Quran. They don't read it, but force us to walk under the Quran. All of that.
Nonsense. All of it is absolute nonsense. There is no clergy required to consummate any damn wedding whatsoever. Absolutely not. I'll give you the example of Moses's wedding, and this happened before the law came down. Yeah, this happened before God put in stone how the marriage and who you can and cannot marry
Beautiful.
when the Torah came. Yeah, this is before. So Moses, he helped out two women at the Sea of Galilee to slake their animals. And then, when one of the women came back, she told him her father wants to reward him for his help. So when he went there and he told the man, all this has happened, the man said, you've been saved from the wrongdoing people. And then one of the women told her father that, hold one who's strong. Of course, she wants to marry him, obviously. One of the two had desires for Moses. So he made a deal with Moses that he would spend 8 contentions or 10 from within him in exchange for him giving his daughter in marriage to him. So that marriage was basically Moses accepting that he would spend 8 contentions or 10 contentions with that man, holding on with that man there, 8 minimum and 10 if he wanted to, as he gives his daughter's hand in marriage to Moses. So there, the daughter gave her ability to marry that Moses to her father to enact that. So you can do that, but you cannot take the woman's authority from her. She can give it to you, just like, man, I can give my authority to someone else, like you do when you give it to your lawyer, right? You give your lawyer the authority to do work for you. You
Yeah.
can similarly do that, your authority, give it to someone else for your marriage as well. But they can't take it. It's not usurpable because you feel like they don't have to or they cannot marry so and so. No, you have no authority. No one has that authority. Not a soul has that authority to do. That's absolute nonsense. Yeah. Okay, so would it be accurate to say that marriage is allowed with 4 women, 3 of them to other than or what? What? I don't understand this. Okay, I'll bring this up.
Yeah, I think he's asking about that sign in which you
Yeah.
can
So would it be accurate to say that marriage is allowed with 4 women, 3 of them to other than orphans? What? No, no, no. This is complete nonsense. Whatever you're saying here is nonsense. Let's bring up that sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's bring up that sign.
Hmm. I don't think there was anything about the orphans over there.
No, there is.
No,
No, no. Don't say what you don't know.
okay.
There is things about orphans.
My bad.
Don't utter things you do not know. Okay, so this is the place where it says that uh, to be able to marry more than one woman, right? So it's in chapter 4. You can see it, correct?
Yep.
So let's start with this. And bring the orphans their wealth, and don't you be changing the wicked with the good, and don't you eat their wealth to your wealth. Surely it is a mistake great. And guess what they do, huh? Anyway, so now it's telling all of you, and if you fear, surely not you just in the orphans. There's a caveat to be able to marry more than one woman. If you fear, and if you fear, surely not you just in the orphans. So if you cannot be just in the orphans, but marry what turn to you from the women, 2 and 3 and 4. But if you fear, surely not you just, but one, or what control your covenants. That closer surely not you be high. So now, so what does it mean here in your understanding? If you leave this to you, Imran, what would you think this means?
Hang on. I'm sorry. I was called for
Okay,
something.
anyway,
Yeah.
let's
No.
forget it now. So let me explain it. So basically, here it's telling you that if you fear, not you just in the orphans. So, first of all, why would you not be just in the orphans? You have to answer that question. If that is the case, then you can marry 2 and 3 and 4 from the women that turn to you. It's not like you can go grab them off the street and force them to marry. You cannot force anyone to marry anyone, okay? You cannot do that. The woman has to turn to the man, and the man has to turn to the woman as well. Obviously, it's usually the man who goes after the woman, right? The exception is that the woman goes after the man. I mean, normally it's the men following the women, right, for marriage and whatever their desires are. If but Mary would turn to you. So then also it says, but if you fear, surely not you just, in whom the women, not the orphans here, but one, or what control your covenants. That closer surely not you be high. The control your covenants, I'm going to explain here. Yeah, I'm not going to explain the situation here. This requires more in-depth analysis and clarity. So why would you not be just in the orphans? Let me answer you. that there are too many orphans and one woman cannot take care of all of them. That's the reason, right? One. Two, the orphan women are allowed to the man who is taking care of the women. So if the man feels that he will transgress over those girls that are orphans under his care, then he should marry other women, because the girl will never say no there. Yeah, because you have to understand the power dynamic to a father child situation, which is akin to that. But a father and child, there's prohibition, but with the orphan woman, it is not. You understand? So that is the reasoning why he allows two and three and four. But if you fear you're not just in the women, one, or what control your covenants, that is a separate thing. Those are mistresses, and the way to go about that is complicated, and I'm not going to explain it right now. But one, and later in this chapter, God tells you you will not be able to be just in the women and if you're anxious. So fundamentally, go with one better for you. That's what it's saying. And you can't just marry four because you feel like it. This is a corollary. It is not like a right to any man that you can just marry four women. Just like, no, only if you have orphans and you are fearful that you will not be just in the orphans. And you have to decide that. If you're trying to finagle your way into, oh, I'm not going to be just with the orphans just to marry women, you don't think God doesn't know that. I mean, people are just crazy in the head, yeah? So that is the reasoning why this is allowed. Okay?
Even one marriage, we're not capable of keeping it together. I mean,
Well,
most
some
of
are.
us. Yeah, some are.
I am being your what? I'm being your believing supporter by creating an FAQ section here. What's What? I don't understand that. I don't understand what that means, Omar. I'm I don't understand that statement. Can you look at it, Imran?
There is an FAQ on the majesticreading.com.
No, but that's like simple questions and answers. Like
I'm
I
believing
don't.
your believe I'm being your believing supporter by creating an FAQ section here, sir.
Okay, so how do you create that? I don't even know how that's created. Anyway, whatever. Let's go to questions. Yeah, let's leave this alone.
Yeah.
Okay,
So in that sign, uh, you said other than the orphan women, what was that? Because my mother was calling me.
other, I don't understand. I said too many things, so you can listen to it later.
Okay.
Let's go to the next issue
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. But my mother's timing. But I
Yeah.
my next was in the so-called Muslim world, Arabs and South Asians, they say when they want to divorce, they say talaq, talaq, talaq. I
Oh
say, okay,
yeah.
go
Okay,
home.
that's nonsense as well. That's all garbage.
So
That you
what is
say.
divorce?
I mean, divorce is when
No,
you
no, no,
get.
sorry to cut you. First, finish that one line about the three thing, talaq, talaq,
Yeah,
talaq.
that is total nonsense. You can't just say talaq three times and the divorce is done. I mean, that's a joke. Complete, absolute joke. The divorce is allowed twice. Yeah, the divorce is allowed twice. After that, you hold with goodness or you let go with goodness. And the divorce, when you divorce, anytime, like it's the first time you're divorcing and you've accepted it, and you first, the Quran tells you to wait for months, yeah, and then you either decide divorce or not. So there's a waiting period for the man. Hey, you're hot-headed, all of you. Wait for 4 months before you finalize your decision on divorce. Now once you divorce, then you have to wait three periods, three courses or three periods of the woman you're married to have to complete before the divorce is finalized. Once those three periods have passed and completed, then you either hold on to her or you let her go with goodness. That's it. And if she is bearing a child, then the term is till the child is born, till she lays down her burdens. So if the woman is pregnant, then the term is till she bears the child. And once the child is born, then you can let go of her or keep her. That decision made at that point. Now, after the second divorce, The third time you enact that divorce, which will take like what, a couple of years, yeah, then there's no coming back. Then at the end of the term, you get divorced. That's it. As simple as that.
The Quran actually simplifies our life if we can understand and apply it.
Yeah, we try and understand it, sure, in this world, right? Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
nobody spends time to understand what it's actually saying, and
yeah,
the edicts in the Quran are quite simple to live our lives extremely simply. There
seriously.
is no requirement to progress or make this earth better for us. Yeah, there's no requirement for that. There's no requirement to build all this technology and all this nonsense. You can, and if we build it for the good of mankind, it will probably benefit us. But these people build it to subjugate mankind, not to free them. They're subjugating mankind left, right, and center by this technology. And AI and all these robots they're putting on the earth, you think that's going to bring good to this earth today? The mankind on the earth? I have a bridge to sell you if you think that.
Mm.
So, FAQ by a Muslim slash believer. I mean, I don't understand what that means. We can talk later about it, Umar. I don't understand what you're saying. So, what do we go next from here?
Yeah.
No
So,
questions at all. Go ahead.
we have heard the Jews do something called Sabbath, and then we've heard Sabbath or Sabbath in the Quran. So, if you could explain what is, I mean, it's mentioned in the Quran in different places. Without pulling them up, if you could give us a basic understanding of what is Sabbath, was it because they deferred in Abraham, or was it something else about?
I mean, that's the answer. You know it. Why are you asking me? It is
Okay.
because they deferred in Abraham. That's why the Sabbath was put on the sons of Israel. And Sabbath means strictness. It wasn't in the Torah. The Torah did not have the Sabbath. The Sabbath was implemented later when they started mocking, what do you call it?
Moses?
Moses and disobeying and going against his commands, and especially the act of not killing the cow was one of them. That they said, no, we're not going to kill the cow. And then they ended up doing it with a lot of caveats of asking all these stupid questions that we talked about a few weeks ago. And then they killed the cow. And but they didn't want to do it, but they did it because they had to, for whatever reason they accepted. And so God put the Sabbath on them for all their rejection. Yeah, they keep
Mm,
rejecting God, and they differ between the messengers. They make separation between the messengers. They put their own messenger as God fundamentally, and the rest are like riffraff. Yeah, like the Muslims do exactly the same thing. The so-called Muslims on the earth, they put Muhammad on top of all the other messengers. That's an absolute lie, complete fallacy. Muhammad is under all the other messengers before him, just like I am under all the other messengers that are before me. And the ones after me will be under all of us. Nobody supersedes the messenger before in what he said. You can add things, which Moses did the law, but after Moses, nothing has changed in the message of God and the law that was sent to Moses. Nothing has changed since then. It is exactly the same law: an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, an ear for an ear, a woman for a woman, a slave for a slave, a man for a man, a free for a free, and a captive for a captive. That's the way it goes. And then people will tell you that, oh, if we follow eye for an eye, no one will be left with an eye. Really? Is
mhm,
that how it works? So if you take my eye, I can take your eye. That's where it ends. Does it end like that? Look at what the so-called Israelis are doing with Gaza. If they kill 1,200 of theirs, that's where it ends, at 1,200. Yeah, now they're up to 60, 70,000. How do you think that's going to come back to reverberate to the sons of Israel living in Israel? Absolute devastation will come to them for this. And whatever they've done in excess beyond the limits of God. The limits of God, the so called appropriate response to an evil is an evil example of it, except the one who has been done evil to passes over that evil. Then you're free of it. So if you take my eye and I say, I forgive you, I let you go, that's it.
Mm.
End. But if I want to take your eye because you took my eye, I have every right, and no one has any recourse to me for that. No one, no judge on the earth will
Mm.
have any recourse for me taking your eye. I have every right. I will take it if I want. And if I want to forgive you, that's up to me. I can do that. Just like murder. If you kill my brother, I can forgive you for that. Yeah. I can forgive you for that act of murder if I am the first of kin that is there. Yeah. If there are four brothers, then all four will have to agree on that. Right. And they
Mm.
kill the fifth brother. So it is not that simple, but people can forgive, and you can see the examples of that. It happens. Yeah. People
Mm.
forgive for murder as well. So there's a question of explain chapter 8, sign 37. So let's bring that up.
And they still celebrate, I mean, do their Sabbath,
Well, I mean,
which is
whatever they
not,
do in it.
it's not connected to this, right?
What?
What they're
Connected
doing.
to. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I can't tell you what the actual Sabbath was when it was implemented, but you see the remnants of that right now.
Okay.
So, to his sorting out the God, the wicked from the good, and is making the wicked some of it over other, but is putting it together, all together, but is making it in hell. Those, they're the losers. So, we have to go back and see what's been going on here, yeah? So, let's go up here. So let's start from this. There's more. Let's start from chapter 8:32, sign 32. And behold, they said, the God of them, if is this, it the truth from within you, but rain over us stones from the heaven, or bring us with punishment grievous. These are the hypocrites and the morons on the earth who denigrate the Quran by saying this to God. And then God and the Spirit says, Gabriel says, and not is the God who is punishing them and you in them, talking to me or the messenger, any messenger, Muhammad or any other. And not is the God to be punishing them and they ask forgiveness. So if they keep asking forgiveness, truly, not the words coming out of their mouth, but their hearts, then he will not punish them till then. And what to them? Surely not he punish them, the God. And they stop over the mosque, the sanctified, and not they are its protectors. If its protectors accept the pious, and but surely most of them, not they know. And not is their prayer within the house except calling and wailing. So taste the punishment with what you are, you're rejecting. So this is God telling them, straighten up or you're going to be punished. And he punishes them, obviously. Surely those who reject, they spend their wealth to their stopping over path of the God. Look around you. That's all that's happening on the earth. By all your leaders, all your clergy, all the people on the earth, they're spending their wealth to stop over God's path. But soon they will spend it. Then it will be over them woes. Then they will be overcome. So that's going to happen. It's happening. Look around you. It's coming. And those who reject, to hell they will be gathered. So, what is God doing here? To his sorting out the God, the wicked from the good. So, within the believers as well, they are wicked, hypocrites, right? And the rejectors. So, he wants the good taken away from the wicked. So, all this trial that's happening on the earth in every generation and today is God sorting out the good from the wicked. And the good will be about 10 men or 15 men, women, whatever, and his making the wicked some of it over other, but his putting it together also. All of them will be put together, all the demons, all the men, and he's going to make them in hell. They're the losers. Okay, so that's what this means. He's doing all this to separate the wicked from the good, and he's going to put all that wicked together and he's going to put them in hell all together, all the demons and men, and the Satans are going to be in one hell altogether in seven different levels. The lowest level of hell will be kept for the hypocrites. The hypocrites are going to be those. So those who pretend to believe, they are going to be in the lowest. Satan will be higher than them. Yeah, God respects Satan more than the hypocrites. Can you imagine that? And most of mankind are hypocrites. So that explains that.
So is Satan not a hypocrite?
I don't see him being a hypocrite in the Quran. He's telling straight. He's to his God to his face. No, I'm prostrating this guy who made from sulfur. I'm from fire. I'm better. I don't think he's hypocritical there, is he?
When he said that he fears God, but he does other than what?
So, it doesn't matter whether you fear God or not.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
truthful.
like
I mean,
you're against him and you still fear him. All the Satans fear God, but they're against him. They're his enemies. So that's like a you're uh, confusing two different aspects. Just because you fear God doesn't mean you're not going to disobey Him.
yeah, true.
We do, all of us, to some extent or the other.
Yeah, so those who will put in the, they will be made lower than the Satan. Oh
Yeah, they're
man,
in the lowest portion of hell.
what a
The hypocrites
statement.
are written clearly in the Quran. There's no interpretation required for that.
Yeah,
And most of you people are hypocrites on the
yeah.
earth. Most of you. And most of you that are with me have proven that you are hypocrites. Yeah. Now, have you turned and righted? God knows. I can't understand that anymore, as I've told you before. I cannot fathom or judge that anymore because I cannot. I cannot trust anymore. As I was before trusting, now I cannot be trusting. So I think we're coming to an end. Maybe I can bring up some other segment if I think about something to talk about, or someone can give me a indication of what they want to discuss. Nada. Okay, let me see what I was reading today. I was reading chapter 25 today. So let me read to you this segment here. This one in chapter 25, sign 20. So here it says to the messenger, and not we sent before you from the messengers, except surely they to their eating the food and their walking in the streets. And we make some of you to others trial. Will you be patient? And is your Lord watching? So the Spirit tells every messenger this, be patient. And some of you are trials to others. And say, those not they expecting our meeting, why not send down over us the angels? Or we see our Lord. So this is the way people like, why can't we see signs? Why aren't the angels coming? Why can't we see our Lord? The answer is already they arrogant in their souls, and they disobey disobedience great. A day they see the angels, no information during that day to the sinners, and they will say barrier forbidden. Then they're going to be in hell, yeah, and there's going to be a barrier between the believers and the rejectors. And we will bring forward to what they did from deed, but will make it dust spread. So that's going to happen to the deeds of the rejectors and the hypocrites. It will be made dust spread. Companions of the garden during that day better placed and better saying. And a day she surely splits the heaven with the clouds, and sent down the angel sending down. So they will come down. They say, why they don't come down? During that day, they will come down. Wait for the punishment to come to this generation. If you're around, and if I'm around, we'll see the angels coming down when they come down with the command of God to destroy this people that are rejectors and hypocrites on the earth. The kingship during that day, the true to the Almighty, and is a day over the rejectors difficult. So this will happen at the end of every generation and at the end of all generation, or the whole end of this sequence that we're in, when the last generation will be destroyed. And a day he bites the wrongdoer over his hands. He will say, oh, woe to me, had I taken with the messenger a path. Oh, that day he will say it. Oh, woe to me, not had I taken so and so a friend. So, all the morons on the earth that are the leaders and rich and his friends who he loves, they will repent that day. Already made me astray over the reminder after behold came to me. So those that he turns to against the messenger, he will say to them, but they think I am that guy. Yeah? So they turn away from me. And is the Satan to the man a forsaker? And will say the messenger, O Lord, my people, they took this, the Quran, to be pushed away. Look around you, it's all being pushed away. And like that, we make to every prophet enemies from the sinners. So every prophet and every messenger has enemies, the Satans from the demons and the men, and all the sinners, which are all the rejectors and hypocrites and partnering people on. They're all his enemies. And enough with your Lord guidance and help. So understand what's going on here, yeah, and say those who reject, why not send down over him the Quran altogether once? You know, it comes slowly, it doesn't come immediately. It took me 15, 20 years to learn whatever I know, 90, 95, 8, whatever percent I know of this Quran. Like that, to our strengthening with it your intellect, and we read it reading, telling the messenger. And not they come to you with example, except we come to you with the truth and better explanation. What do you think happens? How do you think I explain these things? I don't know it. They explain it to me, and I explain it to you. Those they gathered over their faces to hell, those evilly placed and astray of path. And already we brought Moses the book, and we made with him his brother Aaron a minister. So, this is the story of people. And then, okay, I'll just say one more where it says, do you see one who takes as God his thought? Are but you are over him a disposer. So you think you're going to guide someone who makes his thought his God? No, this is a taunt to the messenger. You can't do jack. Or you think surely most of them they listen or they understand the spirit telling the messenger, if they accept like the animals, but they more astray of path. Okay, so these are the things written in this Quran which most people don't want to broach because it's too evil to understand that, right? Too evil to listen to that, too hard to understand how disgusting a creation man is when he turns to his wickedness. And the problem is that most of men turn to their wickedness to lead them rather than their piousness. Because piousness is too boring, wickedness is exciting. So you follow what is exciting to you, and you forget that the piousness brings calmness, the fear of God, and obedience to God, which is obedience to this Quran today. There is no other book on the earth today which can make you obey God the way the Quran can, if you follow it, if you're sincere. So, anyway, that's it for today. Anything else, Imran?
Uh, there was a lot. And I think, I mean, we need to digest what has been said and listen to the show again a bunch of times
Yeah.
this episode
All right, then,
to be able
everybody.
to understand.
We will,
But but
yeah.
but one thing I want to point out before you go, what you did in the opening was very cool. It set the stage and also got me thinking about things that I had forgotten.
Yeah. So anybody who wants a passage to be explained, you can send me that chapter and sign or chapter and signs. Like it has to be a full like story, right? Not one sign here or there,
Hmm.
right? And we can read that, and then we can talk about that and whatever else. So
Yeah, that
Omar
so we
actually
can
sent
say,
me this to the this morning, that can we read a passage first and talk about that, and I've been thinking about it for the last week.
oh, very nice, Omar.
Yeah.
Cool idea.
So anyway, all right, man. We will again convene next Friday, if wishes the God, at the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, United States, New York time, basically. Salam.
Salam.